So I have a million ideas. It's a matter of kind of winding them down to like what has good keyword opportunity. Something else.
So you're going there.
Whoa. Did I just hear you say you do SEO keyword research before you determine what recipe to create?
Actually, I heard her say that on the bocce court last week, too.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Did
totally.
you?
I heard that you were like mumbling it as you were throwing the Paulini down the thing.
So those first 23 recipes, I didn't know anything about keywords. I didn't know anything about SEO. I knew I didn't know it, but I still created recipes. I even took a course on keywords. I just didn't get it. I'm like, I passed the CPA exam on the first try. Why can't I understand this course on keywords? Like, I think I just didn't resonate with the instructor.
Well, John should have taught it.
I know. I finally found someone who was an experienced food blogger who I hired, and she taught it to me in like 5 minutes. I was like, oh yeah, that's it. I totally get that. And so ever since, yes, even now in the world of AI, yes, I absolutely do keyword research. It doesn't mean that I don't have lots of ideas on my own. I will still try to like massage them into something that has good search volume,
right?
But not always.
Yes, it's that balance,
and also the
you want something that's
low
trendy.
competition,
right?
Low competition, high search
Yeah,
volume.
there you go.
Right?
Is that why you made the pickle pasta or whatever you made?
No, that was an example of trying something new.
I know.
You guys were not at the meeting where everybody, even all the old Italians, loved it.
Oh, bullshit. Not buying it.
I believe it was great, but I too, Stephen, am a little traumatized from Michelle's pickle pasta.
But that's an example. That's an example of
I have PTSD.
Needing to just go for it and try things sometimes.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, you probably don't even know. I did a tour to Sicily. That was another thing I tried as my brand. Didn't work out.
Tour to Sicily? Like as a name?
No, I partnered with a tour operator.
A tour operator.
And I ran a Mangia with Michele tour of Sicily.
Did you?
Yeah, this was 2019.
Sounds like our friends from Two Guys on a Plane.
Yeah, was it Trova
Rich
trip?
and Drew?
It didn't really work out. I had two people on it. One of them was my cousin. But you try things, or maybe it was too early in my brand journey.
But it might have been, because I think that like if you start warming them up to that could be like a 2026, 27 thing for you.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I really want to go down that road again. But
yeah, I think we are. I think we already did.
Yeah,
we are.
Steve and I are
on that
managing
road.
a tour for you.
We're your tour guides. Welcome.
But in terms of the pickle, there's an example of. Let's get back to it though. Pickles are a huge trend.
Why?
A huge trend out in the food world.
So weird.
And actually, I got this idea to use it as in the puttanesca. Why not try it?
Sure. I don't like pickles to begin with.
I just think sometimes you have to just try things and see what catches, and it doesn't necessarily always have to be about SEO, but it mostly does. But
sure. Well, you're making a living as a creator, therefore SEO kind of becomes like that's your ATM line.
Yes,
essentially.
absolutely.
Like you need that line to be stacked.
Right.
It's huge. And I know what you mean, Michele. You got to strike that balance between placating the search engines, making sure you're getting new traffic, also building on top of other keyword clusters that you might have existing momentum for,
Yes.
bolting onto that. But simultaneously, look, at the end of the day, you're a creative and a chef. If the mood strikes you to create something that's, outside of keyword search volume, I might imagine from time to time, you're just like, well,
you have
whatever.
to feed your soul as
Right,
well as
exactly.
the analytics.
So, since
I love that. Like that right there, like might be the name of the episode.
Amen. Let's stick with SEO for a minute here.
Sure.
So walk us through your process. Is it just keyword research, or is there more to it?
Let's see. Well, I will either have an idea already that I want to see what's out there that's very similar, or how can I kind of structure the idea based on keyword research. I will also, of course, look at the top ranking posts that are already using that keyword.
Yes.
And see what other keywords they're ranking for.
Yes.
And just, that's a whole nother analysis. See what kinds of questions are being asked.
That's right. And then you'll come up with additional inspiration because you want to go after a certain site that's ranking for something?
In theory, yes, but I don't necessarily think of it that way. I mean, what I try to do is write the most comprehensive post. But that's also my personality. And that's also a testament to the background of who I am as a professional, because like as an auditor, going back all the way, my job was to ask, what could go wrong? And I still think of that way with a recipe. What could go wrong? In fact, some of my more recent posts, I have a section, what could go wrong?
Yeah, that's really smart.
Also, as a culinary director, and I mean, I worked on soup to nuts, so many programs for Whole Foods.
Soup.
soup to nuts. And everything had to be very, very detailed and brought down to the lowest common denominator, meaning, okay, somebody is going to make this, some hourly employee is going to have to make this every day. What's the easiest possible way that I can design this recipe and this technique for it to work each time? That's how I approach every recipe.
So your recipe is the simplest version of that recipe mixed with the most in-depth, comprehensive post that Surround Sound did.
And guess what? Listen, so it doesn't speak to, obviously my writing and my recipes are not going to speak to everyone, but they speak to certain people. And just today I received an email from a follower. I love all the detail that you put in your recipes. You know, you told me to think about this. You know, it was basically a tribute to that, you know. And then another person I know is like, you can totally tell you're a trained chef. The way that you write is just so different. And
so nice.
I realize that my posts are very detailed and they're long, but that is part of my brand.
At the end of the day, would you rather be known as being a trained chef or as an amazing blogger that connects people?
If I had to pick one, it would be the one that's connecting people because that's the more emotional part of me. But I do want to be recognized for my credibility and have people notice that my work is perhaps a notch or two above someone who doesn't have the background that I have.
Your natural instincts to create posts that are thorough and comprehensive and address the trials, tribulations, pitfalls people might run into is exactly how you want to approach search engine optimization. I'm not sure if you're aware of this. It's proper SEO and optimization in the modern day is so much beyond just putting the keywords in there. It's actually what you just described, what I just reiterated, which is what are the questions people are going to ask? How can we address them throughout the post? How can we anticipate the challenges they're going to have and answer them right there so they don't need to go anywhere else? Search engines are aware of that and reward the people that take that step. So you've just kind of naturally developed a knack for how to do things. Before we move on from SEO, which I think is pretty key to your business model here, what tools are you using for that?
I use keywords. Key search.
Key search.
That's my main tool.
I'm actually not familiar with that one.
It's probably the more economical option out there.
Sure.
You know,
and that's it? Just key search?
For keyword research.
And SEO, yeah.
What about AI?
I mean, oh, we're going to go there, right?
Oh, we went there.
Yeah.
I recently
also another botchy conversation we had last week.
No, speaking of AI, that's one of my huge opportunities. I did recently purchase a course specifically for food bloggers about AI. I haven't taken it yet. But I think it's going to be really key for me when I start updating posts, which has to be a huge part of my business, but it's not right now.
Updating old posts.
Updating older posts, you know, or even identifying, you know, posts that used to do really well, now they just do okay. You know, so I think figuring out which post to update is a skill set and something to do, and then updating those posts. And I think using AI prompts in that capacity is where I am initially, at least, going to get the most benefit of AI. Listen, how many people have said to me, have you started using AI yet to write your blog posts?
How many people?
I don't know how to use AI to write my blog posts. They're so like personal. They're so detailed.
Right.
Yeah.
They can't replicate you. They'll never be able to replicate you.
But I think what they could help me with is the information that goes in there as a
correct.
Right. So that's where I'm thinking I'll be able to use AI.
It goes right back to what we were just discussing, which I would encourage you to use AI to help you feed your recipe and even your article into it and say, what am I missing? What challenges might people have? What are common questions that could surface in relation to this?
That's exactly what I want to do.
And then fill those gaps, and the search engines will reward you. Yeah, you supplement for now, as of today, you supplement with AI. You don't replace with AI. And it goes back to the comment you made earlier about that, you know, your personal touch is the differentiator. And it goes back to, frankly, to a recurring theme that we've had on this show and our series, which is your unique and authentic self and personality is your competitive advantage. Yeah. And if you replace that with a robot, then you're going to lose your competitive advantage and lose that listenership and readership that you have.